I'd like to know what was going through your mind when you kept seeing announcements by the government in regards to the pandemic. Majority of business leaders believed that this was going to last 3 months. It's taken us over a year. We are still trying to mitigate against the pandemic. For consumers, those are the customers of the banks, and of course the small businesses. How is the bank positioning itself in regards to serving their needs, supporting business continuity? Because no one anticipated this pandemic would last this long.
You are spot on when you say that we all actually personally thought that this was something that was going to be with us for a very short time. Then there was also a lot of fear because we didn't have a lot of information about the disease. There was all this misinformation. But as we started to get more information coming in from WHO, coming in from government, I think we all now have a better understanding of the pandemic. There's been a look at how typically pandemics last. And it makes it easier because then you've got to take a long-term approach to everything that you're doing. So even though we had thought that it would be a quick fix for our customers, 2-3 months, they are back on track, we've had to then sustain the initiatives we had with them in terms of support, a lot of patience, in terms of that this might not be a quick turnaround story, but however, moving gradually with a lot of them. Some of our customers started out with perhaps a situation where they could absolutely not meet their basic principal interest. Some, through working with them, supporting them, they've now been able to move to a position where they are servicing interest, some servicing part of the loan. So you're able to move with them. And good thing as also the government and all the stakeholders try to then address the whole impact of COVID with the restriction measures. We've seen the restriction measures being less, the restrictive measures being less onerous. Some sectors are able to open up, critical sectors. Surprisingly, one of the critical sectors that was hard hit but now is coming back is the schools and institutions. So we are happy with the measures, the way they are being eased and how we are seeing this translating into the opening of the economy, while at the same time then keeping Kenyans safe. So it's basically taking a long-term view and also encouraging our customers, the same way we did as a bank, to look at new opportunities, way of surviving, new business lines. So basically working at the long journey with them instead of taking a very short-term view of the pandemic.
All right. Yeah. And what I've gathered is some very difficult and eye-opening lessons from the pandemic, from business leaders realizing that it's a question of how do you quickly respond? At the same time, how do you ensure your plans are long-term? This takes me to my next question, of course. As a bank, I know there's been a lot of talk around planning to list at the stock exchange, and being privileged to have you on the show, it will be great to hear. How are we progressing with this? What impact do you feel it will have on the bank in regards to opening it up to the public?
Okay. So thank you. Family Bank is no stranger to the NSE. We've been listed there under the fixed securities market. We had a listed bond that we actually redeemed in April. It was a 5-year, 5-month corporate bond, a successful issuance back in 2016. So it is a market which we have seen has a lot of opportunity as a way of investment, as a way of raising capital, debts, specifically to support our very aggressive growth strategy as Family Bank. I think Family Bank is one of the local indigenous banks that has a good story to tell of financial inclusion over the years. A lot of Kenyans I've met have benefited from Family Bank being a bank that invests in them to just be able to grow their businesses. So it's a good story. We've gotten a lot of demand. Then can you list perhaps your shares in the NSE? And it is something that the board and management of Family Bank has been considering. And yes, I can say at the opportune time, as Family Bank, we will be looking at listing in the NSE. So yes, please do watch out for that in future.
All right.
Yes.
How soon? How short is the future?
So we will continue to just explore how the market looks at. Like, obviously, currently, in all fairness, we're in the middle of a pandemic, so it might not be the opportune time. But definitely, once the market stabilizes, the macros are good, definitely this is something that Family Bank will be looking at.
Excellent.
So it might not be in the too far future.
All right.
Yes.
We'll be hopefully here to witness that.
Yes, yes.
And as we come to the tail end of our discussion, Madam Mbithi, we'd also want you to speak to the girl child. Of course, it's very rare to find banks and, of course, the executive caliber of staff being well balanced off in regards to having ladies in positions of influence. Perhaps, how has the journey been, and what would you like to share in regards to how you broke the glass ceiling?
Thank you very much. So what I would say is that I believe that a lot of work has gone into just making sure that women have equal opportunity. And in Kenya, we've seen the history of a lot of initiatives, very strong women in our past who've done a lot to make sure that we have these opportunities available for us. So we are people, I would pride myself as one of the people who have benefited from all those initiatives we saw back in the 1980s. So there's a level playing field as much as possible in most areas in Kenya around education. Most of the employers now, thanks to laws and all those initiatives, are equal opportunity employers. So a lot has happened. So for me, I think it's for the girl child to just take advantage of those opportunities that have been created for us, because we owe it to all the people who've gone before us and really fought for these rights. And for us to take advantage, it's simply, I would say, a product of our hard work. A lot can be done, but ultimately it is the hard work that counts. When you're getting to these levels that we're looking at, where you're a director, where you're a CEO, where you're executive management, I think what now starts to count is merit, because all this, there's only as much as affirmative action can help you. You've got to get there by your own merit. So when you have an opportunity, seize the opportunity, do the best you can, prove yourself that you are the right candidate for this particular job. So if you know, and if you have that discipline of meritocracy, I think you will get there. It's not something that anybody will really prevent you from getting there. But mine is just also to continue to say, we're not there yet. A lot still can be done to create equal opportunities. So each and every one of us, I know we had the Women's Day the other day, and it was all talking about continuing with the men, the women, just continuing to create equal opportunity. So we all need to just continue coming together to create these equal opportunities. There are areas that women are still marginalized, so it's not yet over. So some of us, when we have an opportunity to create that level playing field, we do that. So if we all continue to do that, we can see a lot more women then get into these offices, even as they do their part in terms of building meritocracy.
All right.
Yeah.
And your parting shot, strong institutions outlive office bearers. As a bank, what are some of the key values in regards to governance? And what's your take really on corporate governance in Kenya, especially in the financial services sector?
Especially for the banking sector, governance is very critical. I think it can make or not. I think it can make or break an institution, and these are lessons we've learned over the years. I think the banking sector from the 80s has gone through a lot of ups and downs, and the banks that have survived are those that are founded on strong governance principles. Family Bank is one of those banks. I think we have a very, very strong board and management. We have board that has very experienced, led by our chairman, Dr. Wilfred Kiboro. We've got excellent board members who are specialists in their own particular areas. Then there's a very strong management team, which I lead. So that strong governance structure just ensures succession, ensures that an organization is well run. Banking is purely built on confidence and integrity. So with those, then a bank, I can say that there's nothing that really can stop your plans once you've got governance, integrity, and succession planning in place. So I would encourage all institutions, including, and this is a conversation we have within our SME customers, that it's very important to build those governance processes. However small you are, please have a distinction between board and management, have a capable board in place, have controls in place, arm's length dealings in all the transactions that you do, and you will see that actually it's one of the ways you can even be more successful than more successful than you envisaged, by purely having proper governance structures.
Excellent place to end it. Thank you so much, Madam Rebecca Mbithi.
All right, thank you, and you're welcome.
All right, we've been speaking there to the Managing Director and CEO of Family Bank, giving us some insights into how the banking sector performed and what she sees in the horizon when it comes to expansion. That's where we wrap it up on this week's edition of the Trading Bell. Until next time, keep safe and continue sanitizing, and of course, don't forget to social distance.